Hi, good day, everyone. Thank you for attending today's educational webinar. My name is Ron Nolasco from International Trade Council. So before we start, I would like to do a quick housekeeping. For the audience, can you hear the audio clearly? Can you please type in yes on the chat box if you can hear the audio? And if you can also see the presentation. Christine, can you hear us? And Minwin, please type in yes if you can hear the audio.
If you want, Ron, I can type yes.
Oh,
We can hear you.
we have a
Yes.
different.
Yeah, I think some of the attendees are also listening via the mobile phone. Maybe that's why there is no option for them to chat. But we can continue now. The audio is clear. So before we start, I just want to make a quick introduction. So the webinar for today is about is Insurance Innovation Push Series. How digital is digital in bank assurance? Digitalization within bank assurance by using the online talk format of YellowMay Insurance Innovation Push Series. It is an online discussion with an expert in the insurance industry moderated by YellowMay. The ambition is to look at new innovative aspects that intrigue, to think existing topics in a new way to support development of insurance industry. The discussion is outlined into inform and good and bad examples within the area. Bring alternative ways to build products, processes, bring views from other countries, and share new ideas to design the next level products. Our speakers for today are Juicy Tumola, CEO of YellowMay, and Marcin Masikowski, Managing Director of and Head of Bancassurance and Affinity Sales, Unica Polska. So I will hand over to the presentation, the topic now. If you have any questions, please feel free to type in your question on the comment section or on the Q&A tab of the screen. So go ahead and you can start the presentation.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron. I will take the lead as being the moderating. And welcome as well. This is the 10th episode of Insurance Innovation Push Series. So it was lovely that we were able to partner up with ITC to run this. So that was very nice. And briefly on as Ron already explained, the mindset is really to have an online discussion as we've always had, and to really touch upon topics which are there for us important within the insurance industry, to share knowledge to others as well who are interested on the topic. Briefly on YellowMay, we are an insurance innovation consulting agency looking, as said, into the topics related to innovation within the insurance industry, and a lot of the time what we also do and spend around is actually to talk with people to hear their thoughts, and also make up the decisions, and then the future alignments as well based upon these discussions. So, but now handing over to Marcin, you can introduce yourself. I will not take the privilege of it.
Thank you, UC. So first of all, welcome to everybody. I would like to thanks to ITC and UC for invitation. It's a really great honor for me to be here. In a simple way, just to say about me a few words, I have a 25 years experience this year in development insurance industry in Poland. 16 years being responsible for the bank assurance sale in Crédit Agricole, AXA, and currently I get the pleasure to be responsible with the team in Unica, Poland. After that, so let's say I get a privilege to see how the market was transforming. So really, typical bank assurance based on the paper into the digital world. So it is a great journey for me and for the team to be part of it.
Yeah. The one thing what we always, and this is we do have some of the bullet points as well to look into that, but it kind of what we look at within the specific topic, but we always want to hear from your aspect generally, and you can just put your perspective either to Poland or to kind of look at it from within the industry, but insurance generally. Is it same everywhere, or is it something different? What comes to mind if you look at insurance as a product? How would you describe insurance in brief as a product generally?
It's reasonably, we are a human being, so we have the same, let's say, needs, the same risk that we cover. So majority of the products, let's say, are the same, we can say. The things that are differentiating, let's say, the insurance market, especially, in the Europe, is the processes. Depending on the different countries, we have a different development on different channels. So, for example, in Eastern Europe, surprisingly, we have a huge share of digital channels in the bancassurance in model. For example, in Poland, we have a 23 million of internet banking and mobile app users. So it is a really pretty huge number of the customers. We are really focusing on the digital. Out of this 23, there is a 14 million mobile-only users. So there's those customers, we are using only mobile app as a single point of contact. So this is a huge challenge for us as for the industry to be able to keep the pace. For the Western countries, what we see still there is a majority of, let's say, traditional channels, meaning the important role of the branches. So in terms of the processes, there are some countries with the paper processes still, not mentioning which, but still there is a paper with, of course, the ambition to switch into the digital channels, because all the world now is talking about the digital transformations. So in terms of the product, let's say there is no significant changes. Let's say we can say that we as a human being, as I said, we have the same, but there is a huge differences in terms of the channel of the distributions.
Well, and I'm still catching on from that one. You have a broad experience there. If you look at it as well, that as said, products are still the same, but if you look at risk in a way, and I know insurance in the industry has always kind of the tendency what the industry kind of has from the historical point of view, and also some mindset, definitely, let's put it into the future as well. But existing products are kind of something that it relates to a risk that first needs to be there, so that kind of insurance industry is not on the driver's seat in a way regards what to cover. How do you see that development? Well, already within 25 years, there's kind of like that probably has changed a lot.
It changed a lot, but still, I think that we are reasonably innovating the risk insurance, depending on what is the new risk coming to our customers. So let's say, as an industry, we are, let's say, the basic covering the basic risks that the customers I have, like a life, accidents, for the flats, for the personal ones. So the general risk that is not changing since centuries, we can say. But there is some kind of new risk coming with the fast developing world and all those risks. For example, linked with the cyber risks. This is the risk that was not present 20 years ago, let's say, because of the early development of the internet, those mobile phones. So as an industry, for example, we as a Unica, we are answering to this question, to this customer, let's say, needs by developing the new products. But the challenge there is how the customers are educated that there is such a risk as cyber risks. This is in Poland, for example, saying from my place, saying that there is a still huge effort to be done by the industry to aware the customers that there is a huge risk linked with the cyber risk, with sharing the data, with phishing, and all those things. So when it comes to the volumes, which is crucial for the insurance industry, still, let's say, you will not build a huge volume of, for example, cyber risks, because there is just a plenty of customers which the risk is really visible for them. But still, we are, let's say, innovating. We are delivering the products to these customers, and then by this we see a huge role for the insurance industry to educate the customers about not only selling the product, but to educate about the risks that are arising to the customers.
If we take that as a bridge, they're kind of like, and obviously digital ways and digital communication has changed. That basically digital communication was a GSM phone back in the day. That was digital communication, even though we don't consider it at all at that in that sense today. But if you look at it from that let's start from, because it always starts with the risk, that what someone is considering as a risk. How do you see that? Okay, because there we need to be, that's kind of the base, that we need to be able to explain that, okay, this is a risk that you should insure, or that it's something that is substantial for you. But if you put that
So
into the
yeah, in
but if you put that into the digital content now, how you would start to explain this in that context, because it is something that you, not necessarily, we don't come by say, but okay, well, this is a risk for us, but we actually have the potential to explain what is a risk in a different way.
it's a huge answering your question. It's a huge challenge for the providers of the insurance, for the bank industry, because in the past it was a little bit easier because there was a, let's say, human being the agent, which had the possibility to answer the customer doubts, to translate the insurance language into the needs of the customer. Currently, in, let's say, in digital world, we are selling to the customer. We are not selling the product. We are selling the experiences, and that's the big shift that we have. So, for example, it's not only about, let's say, the product and the process, but it is about identification when is the right moment for the right customer to present the product. Speaking about the bank assurance, we have these privileges that the bank has access to the current accounts history. So by data science and by all those analysis provided on the current accounts, we can find the customers, for example, paying for the gas in the gas stations. So you don't have to be Einstein to think that if someone is paying 25 euro on the gas stations, probably he or she has a car. So there is there is a context that we can post in different channels, in the internet banking or in the push on the mobile phones. So then we can present that we as a bank, we as an insurer, we are providing the insurance in case of your car accident. So I get a privilege to be responsible for the cooperation with one of the Polish leading internet banking, meaning mBank. And then since 2016, we are developing these competences, let's say, about the contextual marketing. So we are, let's say, the bank team is working on the data, trying to identify the different customers for different products, meaning the travel, household, motor, some life, accidents, so different, set of the standalone products that we have. And then the team is learning and is, let's say, getting the know-how, which product, which customer, at which moment we can present. And there is a really, but still, as I start answering your question, there is a huge challenge to get in the right moment the right customer.
I think it's what comes to my mind, and correct me, and you have a good experience already on building it for a number of years now, is that I'm not saying that marketing has a bad it's resonating as a bad name, but on the other hand, if you look at marketing and then you look at risk, they're kind of like, okay, who wants to market risk in a way? Would it? What comes to my mind, that, and would there be a way? Do you see that there would be a way to kind of to elaborate risk in a way? Not saying that it's marketing in that sense detailed. It's more to actually people, to get them to understand what is a risk in the essence. Would there be a way in that equation? I would say that saying that building up something which people could also come in, instead of, obviously they use what they use as means, but it's kind of like, okay, where you can go, and because people are very eager on information, so it is something that they do want to know if it's there. But how you would see, because then marketing is, in the one hand side, still in a way traditional. If you look at it, you just place an advertisement, or even it can be video or movie, whatever it can be. But from that point of view, that it would be, I don't know, more interactive marketing in a way, that you would be able to kind of like say on a high level that, okay, well, this is what is there, but then it goes into more that would actually touch you as a person there, that you could relate to.
So yes, so beside the contextual marketing that we are developing, say we are using content marketing. Okay, so let's say we try to educate the customers.
Yep.
Let's say by pushing. So of course, in terms of the marketing, we are one of the main values is the price, but this is a specific of the Polish market. Let's say so. One of the most valuable are discounts, cashbacks, all the things that catch the attention of the customers. Again, this is the right moment because we have a very good product, but at the same time at a very favorable price. So the value is linked with the product and the price. With the part of the education, we have a content marketing. So there is a specific places in the banking area when the customers could read what is about this product. We have
then we go
full
again,
range.
something to read, but then kind of like, okay, who can
simplicity, you see, it's just simplicity. Since the very beginning, even if the Bancassurance was based on the branches offering, still at the very beginning, one of the DNAs of this, it was the simplicity. So Bancassurance is nothing more, nothing less. It's just about the simple product, simple process to be understood by the customers previously by the advisor of the bank. So it comes with the simplicity of the products. And then when the customers to be a little bit more educated, being aware, we were able to provide more complex product like a household or car insurances, which is a typical retail products, let's say, but still currently it's more than 20% of the customers are purchasing motor insurance via mobile app. So we are really proud of it because it's a huge amount of the customers that are clicking on the, and the still, motor insurance is quite heavy, especially when it comes to Casco and TPLS money. So let's say it's still with the simplicity about the context. So catching the attention of the customer in the right moment. And then we have all the information given to the customer in the simple way. So not very, heavy documents, 25 pages to be read by the customers, like a single page, just main points of the value, why it's needed that you purchase this insurance. But still, I fully agree with you. It's a really challenge in the digital way when you don't have this human.
Well, what about how well people are then how well they are aware of the existing products currently, / what they have bought, or then when they use them? How do you feel? How is it running? How does that work currently in the digital way?
That's a huge. Still, we are providing different campaigns, but we are, let's say, we don't want to annoy the customers by sending the traditional, let's say, carpet bombing, mailing to everyone. So let's say we switch to the contextual marketing. So we are not, let's say, informing generally customers that we have insurances. We are trying to catch the customer in the right moment with our products via bank, of course. So this is why I said that we are analyzing, the current accounts activity.
Yeah. So
and we have like a 10.
So
there is a group like a one. Yeah. So there is a content. There is a permanent communication to the customers via different channels, but in the right moment with the right product. So not like just general sending the emails and praying to some guys just to open it. So it's really
what do you say about the existing, and then let's jump to how you would want to build them. But before let's close the idea of, well, how does it work currently on when there is a claim? How does that work through the Bancassurance currently? How digital is that flow currently? What is kind of like, or what is the touch point there for what is the touch point there for
claims for claims? You mean? Yeah. Claims is the event for just few customers out of the base. It depends on the portfolio. So we are not so innovative there in the Bancassurance model, let's say, but we are not shy because of this. We are, for example, currently in the mobile app, you have a full range of the products to be bought by the customers. And there is, we call it panic button. So there is a very simple information to the customers that you should call to this number in case something happened go to the web page, and there is a formula, and this is our Unica web pages and the call center to register the claim.
Yeah.
Because from the few customers, probably we can use it, could put all those data in the mobile app, maybe in the future. But currently, it is not that the customers are really expecting. So this is why this is what I said at the beginning. So we are reasonably innovative. So just to put the effort to develop this, to link it with our systems, it costs many days. And there is other idea of the bank or the insurances that we can spend the mandate to improve the customer satisfaction. Because as I said, this digital distribution is all about the selling the experience. So for us, for example, we pragmatically we prefer to invest those mandates into improving the sales process, to speed it up, to make it shorter, just to make it more convenient for the customer, in terms that to invest on the just some fancy formula that just 1,000 customers will use. So we want to delight the customers at the beginning. At the same time, of course, to improve from technology point of view the claims processes that are behind. But this is on our side as the insurance company. It's not directly linked with the Bancassurance.
If that's, I think that kind of what is the existing status quo. But what would you say about the future picture? What if you we would have all the money in the world, all the
beautiful
there.
Dream.
Then what would be from your mind how you would start to build it? What would your Bancassurance look like if you would really you would be given completely open budget? Let's say it's from Tim Cook from Apple saying that, okay, well, we give you this budget and go ahead and plan us a brilliant Bancassurance product.
First is, let's say the answer is I think there is 4 pillars to answer it. So it is not a simple question how.
Yeah.
First, let's say my digital experience and my team starts with the people. So you have to have the right people in the right place. Aaron Dignan said that the digital is a mindset, and I really fully support it. So you have the right people, with some kind of entrepreneur, being brave. So you have to have people on board first. People in the insurance, and the same in the Bancassurance. Then the second pillar is the environment that you create for these people. So how they are governed, how they are working. They are working on the agile, or they are working on the waterfall. How you organize them to perform the test and learn. Because the digital is about the test and learn and fail. So let's say this is really important for the environment and the people, to give them some kind of comfort zone of failing. Because it's about the testing, so we can think that we did something good, but then the customers are saying no,
but
it's not good.
But if thinking of that to the commitment that from the company side, say that, okay, you can fail. How do you see that should be built? Is it so that, okay, well, that design a product, we pilot that product, we will actually cover that if there's kind of a certain period of money or a certain limit of money that actually can go sour, or how do you do this?
It's it's about this. In general, failing is not popular in the corporate world. So of course it is. You cannot fail too often, but still you have to encourage the team to part of the time to invest into some terra incognita, let's say, yes, for the things that are now a little bit to mitigate. There is let's say, continuing the pillar number 3. So for example, don't think that you are right, ask the customers. So for example, when we are designing the product or the processes in the future, for example, the claim processes fully embedded into the mobile app of the bank, we ask the customers to come to the design thinking workshops. So we ask the bank customers to come and to co-create it with us. And it is giving a really interesting perspective. So, we can think that we are wise, but still we are developing it for someone else. So sometimes, sometimes it's really good to say, okay, stop, ask the customers and to check if what is the voice of the customers into some process, product, and so on. So it really brings us a lot of value. And it's very funny for the customers to see how the bank and the insurance companies, working from the backstage. So it's even for the customers. So there is a pillar number 3. So this is a little bit how we mitigate the failures, because the customers are saying, "Come on, guys, what are you doing here? It's nonsense. We don't need it."
But I have to. Well, I'm not. But there, I always challenge this in a way that, okay, usually the customers don't know what they need in a way, or what they want.
But yeah, of course, is you can it's the most of the stupid. What do you want as a customer? Because it's hard to innovate with the customers this way. But this is why we are using, pretty well in the world, design thinking methodology. That there is a phase of the prototyping.
Yeah.
So if there is a solution, so if, for example, you ask about the claim process, so now we ask the customer to sit with the customers and saying, okay, so how can we prototype it for you, dear customer, to have it in the right way? And then it's, so we are not only in the clouds flying, but there is a really, down to earth that we are designing this, how it could looks. And it's really bringing a lot of value for the team responsible for development of those. And the pillar 4, when you step into this design world, digital world, and so on, it's about the constant improvements. So despite, even if we design, beautiful process and we will giving it to the customer, then this process must be monitored on the daily basis. So how it's working, when the customers are living and so on, and then must be constantly improved. And there is really, it's easy to say, but it's not so easy to book the resources in the organization to have a space for it, because every time, every quarter you have to say, okay, I need to change this, I need to change this, because I'm losing customers in this queue, because it's not understandable for the customers. So and it's really, huge challenge to convince the organization that you must improve. And this is, yeah. So there is 4, let's say, from my 4 takeaways of my experiences in this digital transformations.
Okay. And if looking into it, definitely there was some on looking into that, okay, what you should do and what you should not do. And in a way, some of them you already kind of did look at, but if you definitely look at that kind of like where you would start with, if we take one single product, or you would be bringing a new product there, or what would be kind of like the do's and don'ts, if you consider, well, we can take the existing example, so it can be a travel insurance on your bank card, or something else, if you have something else in mind. But what would be definitely the do's you should do and the don'ts don't do?
The do's for to do is I'm really believing in people in the team. So to do is to have the right people and to believe them, to empower them and to trust them.
But how do you if and I know that the world is, if you look at it, it's kind of more digital in that sense. Yes, people are still people, even though they work online from wherever in the world. But kind of like, how do you make sure that they are then the right people?
You have to trust and to see. You have to, you have.
But if you would look at it a bit on as a profile, kind of like, okay, what would you be looking there in a way, that what would be then the kind of qualities there? If you said that people is the core there, but what would be kind of the qualities, what you would be looking there?
For me, the experience that is usually the young people, young. I'm pretty 45, so it's not so young. What it mean young? But there is Gen Z, for example, which is perfect. They grow in the world of digital. So for me, 45, to think how the customer is good, of course, I can buy experience, but it's totally different for the Gen Z now to understand this word, and they are perfectly, let's say, developed for this kind of word. So you have some kind of, maturity built by experience, but they grow in this world. So there is I love to cooperate with this generation, because they, by nature, they understand digital, so they have this digital mindset because it's something natural for them. And there is, for example, like you have to some kind of entrepreneur DNA of the people, because you have some people that are, looking for the business. They like the challenges. They are creative, so they can, think about the new things. So there is a few things that are really interesting for this process to develop such a
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So more dues. People
More
were
do. Yeah. More dues is for sure for the bank assurance, which is the key to understand why. So why the bank needs it, and it's a lot of people just saying, yeah, because they want the just commission. No, it's a totally wrong answer. If you are just, saying because they want the commission, probably you will fail, because it's really a lot of different things, like a customer satisfaction, customer acquisition, NPS. So different measures of attractiveness of the product and the processes that insurances can contribute to. So for the team, for the insurance company, it's really key to understand the why of the bank. So you would like to develop your first product in the mobile app, say why. And the answer, because we want to digitalize the business, is not the answer. Let's say, because it's obvious, yeah. But what's behind? Because then when you have the why of the bank, then you can anchor your solution contribute to this. So, for example, banks can say, okay, we want to have a travel insurance because we would like to increase the number of the customers they are logging into the mobile app. And there is the why. Okay, so there is let's say, and then by the product, for example, or by the process or by the communication, you can, now you can contribute to the direct why. So for me, one of the key questions to the bank always is why. And it's not only the first answer is the real why. Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
well, one what is there that you should avoid of kind of, let's say, promoting only the monetary value kind of, or that what is the price. I think that is kind of because you can buy with the same price, you can buy very good things or you can buy very bad things. I think that is kind of
Exactly.
that is definitely the learning
And you sell the experience. Yes, we said many times during this conversation that you're really selling the experience of the customer. So it's this is why the product and the process are, so crucial for these experiences. How you are building these experiences, and if the customer, what we observe, if the customer is happy by the NPS, they return.
Yeah.
So there is, even if the price or the product is not best in the world, by the process you can win the customer. That every time the customers who will come back and to buy the travel insurance via the mobile app, because it takes only 15 seconds. So what for to try to find, another supplier of this product. Yeah.
More dues.
More dues, do trust, do empower, to understand the why. More dues.
They don't have to be. I'm saying that
No.
this is
I don't want to, produce dozens of dues.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, the don'ts then.
Don't think that you are the wisest man in the world.
Wow.
That's the
Well,
That's
we
yeah.
could try
Uh,
to ask what is it in you can ask it from different artificial intelligence services. Who is the smartest person in the world? I think that would be an interesting answer. I have not tried this, so you can try it at home as well. What would be the reply?
and the answer from the mirror will be. I think it will
Definitely,
be.
definitely. But if you look at it, definitely what you should not do with an have you experienced something that really don't kind of go on to that route with bank assurance? Is there something?
Hmm. Don't, let's say, don't start if you don't have our full organization involved in it. So sometimes the initiatives are, let's say, some local, let's say, so one division
Mm,
want to do something, but don't step into this if you don't have all the organization with you. So meaning the bank or the insurances company, if
yeah.
it is some kind of strategy goal, then you can invest in it. Because if insurances are not anchored to the strategy goals of the bank, then you can fail by the resources, by the attention, by the number of the communications sent to the customers. So there is a many things that you can, lose the business, and then after 1 year they say you failed, and
Mm,
you say, yeah, I failed because there was no support from the organization, or there was no, limited, both on the bank and on the insurance division. It's not only on the bank, it's on the insurance division, because as we say, the pillar number 4 is the
yeah.
improvements. And
Mm,
then, because for sure the first release, it will be some kind of MVP or something like this. So there
yeah.
then you want to develop the product, the process you would like to involve. And if you don't have these resources to be ready to do this with you, you will fail for sure. And we failed as once in Malaya. We developed a pretty nice solution, and we failed because there was no. It was once developed.
Mm,
We come back to the bank that we are not cooperating now. We come back to the bank with saying, okay, now you have to improve, and the bank said, no, we have other priorities. And
yeah.
you say as well. So it's built by the experience
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure. So it's very important to have the strategic commitment of both organizations. That yes, we trust you. You have the resources. You have a budget for the go for it.
Yeah.
So it's like don't start when you don't have
Yeah.
the
Okay.
army behind
No, I
you.
think that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, if you look at then on from the and some of it obviously comes on already the discussions what we have for regards to analytics and how people are using money. I think there, but what would be then the future bank assurance innovation? And obviously, I know that then you don't want to share all of them, but
No, it's not. Yes, yes, I fully agree with you that the current gold or the oil, however it is, is the data. In European Union, we have a little bit challenge, with the GDPR, because comparing to China to US, we are much more limited now. We have from the customer perspective, it's okay, because we have to receive the consent or marketing consent of the customer to allow us to analyze it. But still, let's say it's hard to dig into the gold because of the GDPR. So of course we are now getting the customer consent to do it. But the true gold is really in comparing the data between the bank and the insurance company. Before the GDPR with mBank, we did a price sophistication when we compared 2.5 million customers' data. It was before GDPR. When we compare anonymously, of course, the data from the claims and the 36 different banking data. And by this exercise, we were able to provide the unique price of the motor insurance for the customers. So let's say once in the history we did it, and it really bring the unique value. So the customers, because of some characteristic from the banking behavior,
mm,
we were as an insurance company. We said, okay, these customers have a better loss ratio, so we are able to provide a better price, which obviously is a great value for the bank because this particular bank can provide to this particular customer unique price. Yeah, and this is what's about the experiencing the great price, because I'm the customer of this bank. If we talk about the future, I truly believe in this, in the data science, in terms of the marketing, let's say, so being very precise when is the moment to communicate to the customers, in terms of the underwriting, of course, because it comes, naturally. And as we discussed before, it's about the prevention role of the insurance, and that's really, I think, the key for the future. So not only giving the risk and to covering the risk, but saying to the customer and to a little bit educate the customer that there is a high risks of this, because we as an insurance company we have it. Oh, sorry, my dogs. So yeah, life. This is why it's really important to have this prevention role, for example, for the health insurances and so on. So the data is the key for the long, let's say, lights. I think that those providers like a GAFA, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and so on, they have access to the enormous number of the data, and there will be one day. We know that Amazon is offering the health insurance, so they are a little bit stepping in to this world. But by the number of transactions, data, I think that it would be a really huge competitor for us for the Bancassurance in the future.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think Amazon as well, and I think Apple in a way that they do have one of the largest fintech players in form in the world. But if you look at, I think one is what comes to my mind there as well, and if looking at how large is the kind of the value chain there. So if you look at the banking value chain, because there's PSD2, which is the payment regulation there as well.
Yeah.
Do you look at that side as well? So kind of like, because there's a kind of in a way the volume of different processor units or who acts as a financial institution in a way actually is a lot bigger than in the past. How do you compare
the trust in Poland? Saying in Poland, I think in Europe as well a little bit. It's not so, let's say, used now. Of course, there is opportunity, and years ago we were investigating things where we can make our place to use it. But currently, I don't see many examples like they are using. Even from the customer perspective. I share the data between those two banks because it's allowed to give access. But for me, the value behind it was a little bit. So I'm saying as a customer, so let's say the value which is given now is not so convincing for the customer. I think it's a little bit too early. And there is a lot about the trust. So what is the company? Do I know the company to whom I share my data? So what they will do with the data? And I think it's early stage. I don't know if it would be used finally, depending on the solution, what will be given to the customer and how we can make happy the customer or make their life easier by the solution that we do. Currently, it's not so.
I think it's kind of, because it in some form it is part of the value chain, but obviously
it could be.
Yeah. So I think in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, if you did say that insurance industry is innovative, but if you rate it between 1 and 10, 1 being not innovative and 10 being extremely innovative, where would you actually place insurance industry?
4 with ambition to 6. Yeah, so it's really we are late followers, let's say. I think I will repeat it for the third time, being reasonably innovative, because by the number of the touch points with the customers, the banks, we are opening several times by the day our mobile app with the bank, checking, making the money transfer, and so on. With the insurances, you purchase, if nothing happen, you are not passionating every time to see what is covering. It's so we more currently as an industry, we invest into optimizing the sales process with the partners and to increase the customer experience at the, let's say, end, however it sounds in the insurance. When the claims happen, to improve the customer experience from, for example, for shortening the period. So not to, not to give the customer they have to wait for 25 days, but to shorten it by technology to 10 or by 5. For some of the risks, for example, we are paying the claim now in the 2 hours. For example, when there is, the kid is born, we just receive the medical documentation and the money automatically goes in 2 hours. So we more invest in the processes, meaning the claim, to optimize the customer and to satisfy the customer. Then we are, very, very innovative, and so on. So, and the question at the very end is if really customers needs really, by 10 points, as you ask insurance company.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
I think it's, but I think based upon if, and we did touch this in the pre-discussion as well, that kind of like there is and also will become risks in a way, differently in a way. Either it's climate change or it will be technical means that are really posing a risk to a policyholder. How do you feel there that, and I know that insurance industry can be quick because we were quick, let's say in COVID times, we were actually quick to transfer kind of the whole operational setup in a way into
Exactly.
home office and so forth, that it is there. But how do you see that? How quickly are we able, on the product side, to be that we are not only so reactive, let's say, in the future, because it might need that we don't have 18 months time to develop a product. Someone would go and say that they actually would need this product, and the risk occurred, or the risk really was exposed yesterday in a way. How do you see that side? Do you see there that is that one of the development areas where kind of, because in the end of the day the processes are the same, but how do you see that part being actually developed?
Being a little bit pessimistic or optimistic, however
Well,
it sounds, I
let's
think
call it it's
not
more
everyone will survive. Not everyone in the industry will survive, which is of course the threat and the and the opportunity for others. So for sure, let's say there will be a huge challenge in terms of the exposure to the risks because of the climate change behaving. So for sure, we will have to solve it, giving the some balance between the risk and the reasonable price. Maybe some governments that have to support some kind insurance industry because of the exposure of the risk reasonably to be taken, which is not always the answer. And I still believe that there is those future role about the prevention because of the data, and we know that there is a flooding, high probability of flooding. We can sell and we can increase to the customers the awareness of the possible risks. The same in the motor insurances and so on. We know as an industry, as an insurance company, where are the the black spots in the map that there's the majority of the claims. So why not to send to the customer the information that you go to Vienna or you go to Paris and there is a 2 black spots, be aware in this place. So it's I truly believe that the answer to the global threats will be on the prevention side as well. So of course the protecting, so giving the the payoff in terms of the claim, but the prevention in the contact with the customers, I think it is from the health and the property side, for sure there is a space for it. I truly believe it.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I've seen some of the researches that kind of like what could have been prevented, the amount of claims, for example. It is very seldom they really, let's say that if it's an earthquake, well, that kind of happens, but then still how the houses are built or what you demand as an insurance company, how they are built. These are already
Exactly.
the topics there that can be addressed. So No, I fully
Yeah.
agree. Fully agree there that, but then it comes down to the as well in the role where you actually where you guys are with the bank assurance product, kind of like you are in that framework where people are handling their own money, but also to kind of like okay to kind of have one of the first rows, I would say, at least in a way, to have access to that data in a way that okay, someone has bought that ticket to Austria or wherever they want to spend that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then, so to kind of really to follow up on it, and I think, well, you can correct me, but I would say that then some of these products would be even more into saying just being kind of diverted in a way and saying that okay, well, this is the risk, this is the amount what actually we or that's actually our recommendation that you should do, and then it could be a question saying that okay, is there's a cover as well that you can buy for this, for example, that
For sure, you see. For sure, see, plus automation of the covering, let's say. So it's so as a customer, I don't have to think to purchase the insurance, but because I cross the border, it's automatically starting the cover or something like this. So full automation for sure as well. To
yeah
give a peace of mind for the customer, not to remember another thing, multitask word. So it's for sure the automation as well
yeah
in this.
yeah no, I think that makes definitely the sense from the aspect there. Are there any questions from the audience? Ron, just being there, I don't
Yes. Yes. Any questions from the audience? So far there is no question yet.
yeah
We
okay
still have 8 minutes. So if there's any question, just please feel free to type in your question here in the comment section or in the Q&A tab of the screen. While we are waiting for the questions, just few announcements. So as mentioned, we are recording this webinar. So if you would like to replay, or if you would like to watch this in the YouTube channel, you can search International Trade Council. We will upload it there. If there's on the audience right now who are not yet a member of International Trade Council, please free to approach us and we will happy to give you a free membership. And lastly, you will be given a certificate of participation for this webinar in the next few days. I don't see any question here. I think maybe you can just put up your email address on the chat box. So if anyone would like to reach out to anyone from you directly, they can possibly reach out to you via email. All right, so we have our speaker's email address here. Please feel free to reach out to them if you have any more question in regards to what we are discussing today and anything about the topic. Please feel free to do so. We still have 7 minutes. I can give
yeah
that time to
I
you
was just
guys.
that was yeah that was just the question that do you have any questions, and then we can wrap it up together. I
Yes,
think that's
go
kind
ahead,
of like
please.
that was in my mind as well there.
Yep.
So well, if we look at then now in kind of like coming from and how do you feel? I know, and I fully, in my mind, still digitalization and tools what are coming out from it is kind of like that is still kind of they are just tools that we use there. Kind of like it's been pen and paper previously. Now it's a whatever kind of a format what you use to
Yes.
fill in data. But I think one of the core questions there, and we have touched upon it, is kind of like how you interpret the data there in order to kind of find value for the policyholders. I think this is one of the core topics there that for the future bank assurance. Do you agree?
Fully agree. With the data science, the number of the data received is important. So let's say we step into it with the context marketing together with the banks, and it's really growing rapidly on the market. Let's say this contextual marketing based on the current accounts. Currently, because of the GDPR, we are really limited with it. So personalization is it's a really challenge. I truly believe that there is a value behind for the customer, the real value. But still, let's say we have to give a time to have the number of the customers. They are able to analyze the data because we cannot analyze on the 10 customers. We need the thousands of customers. So for sure we invest into it, but still reasonably, stepping into the sales process and the communication of the marketing. In the future, there is ambition to step into underwriting, for example, to simplify the underwriting, and so on. So step by step, let's say, step by step into it.
If looking into, let's say, the future picture, what would you see out there for this as a last note for what is there for 2024? If you look at
2020.
next year, what
Next
do you
year, well, it's all next year is just is focused on the improvements. So still we will invest into improvements. We focus into the customer experience in terms of the selling and the claims. So still on the short lights, as we say, it's we invest into optimization of the processes, and there is sense from the customer perspective because we don't annoy customer, and from the business because we just sell more, because we have a more delighted customer. So let's say it's a really pragmatic. So there is no fireworks with being totally disruptive on the market. It's not the moment, and still the question that I ask ourselves with the team very often is, do really customer needs it like a fireworks? Because it comes back to the education. Do we have the customers educated to be happy with some fancy solutions, and so on? Maybe some part, but still, do we have a mass of the customers to happy? And when we invest our mandates and our days of work into which, so there is a year of improvement, let's say, I would say.
And hopefully
Another year.
And from my view, definitely, I would say that there's already a lot of to be innovated, and we don't need more risks. Let's say it like this. In that needs to be
Yeah.
there. They're already with the existing risks. There's enough different products or solutions that can be done.
There is some kind of flavor that's let's say the new trend a little bit, that is, but it's not so massive. It's about the Azure banking, which is maybe in the world is not so successful story, let's say, because there was a different examples of Azure banking, but still what we observe in the industry, Azure banking. So how can we as an insurance company offer the banking products? And because we performed the workshops on it, and that's a really in the digital world there is a lot of natural contexts, let's say, for example, link with the traveling, when you have some credit cards, FX, and so on. Of course I will not give more examples, but there is some kind of natural products and the contexts of cooperation with the customers when you can offer the banking products, giving the real value for the customer on it. So I think still it's not the fireworks saying, "Oh my goodness, I even didn't so," but still there is a value behind. Both for the partner and for the customer from it. So for sure we will test it.
Okay, very good,
The
excellent.
answer will come.
So thank you from my side. I think
Thank you,
Ron
Jussi.
is wrapping up the presentation as well. So thank you, Marcin, from my side.
Thank you, Jussi. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, everybody, for listening us.
All right. On behalf of International Trade Council, I would like to thank Jussi and Marcin for this very informative presentation. And for everyone who attended this webinar, thank you for your time. And we look forward to hearing from these speakers again, possibly in the future. And we hope to see you on the next educational session. Thank you for your time, and you all have a wonderful day.
Likewise.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. See you.